Hi, my name is Anitej Sharma, and I'm part of Project Group 25 for COSC 341 Final Project. Do you remember the terrifying wildfires in Kelowna this past summer? I'm sure everyone remembers them, especially people like my teammates and myself who were here in Kelowna during that terrifying time period. It left everyone feeling confused and scared. Therefore, for our final project, we decided to build and implement an app to support our local firefighting community. Our goal is to improve communication, share important information, and get the community involved. To achieve that, the key features involved are the ability to use the app, whether you're a firefighter or a supporter, the ability to get in touch with wildfire services and other resources for firefighters with a click of a button, a communication hub for all the firefighters to get live information from their colleagues in headquarters, tips and suggestions for supporters regarding different ways to help the local firefighting community, providing access to firefighters to the list of incidents on a map with proper markers and necessary details, and the ability for all users to report an incident on the map. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So here we have two different emulators running at the same time, and the reason for that is to demonstrate the communications hub and the different features within the firefighter's UI and the supporter's UI, but we'll get to that later on. For now, we'll focus on the first page that a user sees when they enter our Firefighting Support app, which is the login and sign up page. Our login page is no different than any other login page. Here we ask for a user's email and password, and to quickly demonstrate this, let's say if a user did not enter any information, the app will prompt them to enter their email first. Let's say we just enter some text in, not necessarily a proper email, then our app will prompt them to enter a password. Then let's say we enter some more text in for the password field. Now, before our app actually goes through the database to check if the account exists or not, we have a validation system running in the backend to make sure that the information entered is actually in the correct format or syntax. So here the email isn't, so which is why it's prompting the user to enter a valid email. Now here I'm just going to add @gmail.com to make it a proper email or put it in the right syntax. Note that you can use any other domain name as per your registered email for our app. Now, of course, everything is in the correct format, so here the app will actually go through the database to verify if the account exists or not. If it doesn't, or if the information entered here is wrong, then it will say that, wrong email or password. Now here, a user can either correct the information, or if they know that they don't have an account with us, then they can sign up. Now to sign up, a user would have to click on this little text down here which says don't have an account, click here to sign up. Now I'm going to open the sign up page on both of these devices to demonstrate what it's like to sign up as a supporter and as a firefighter. Now any user, whether firefighter or supporter, would have to enter their first name, last name, email address, and password. Where it gets different is this little checkbox down here. Now if you're a supporter, you leave this unchecked and you can just hit the sign up button and you'll be good to go. But if you're a firefighter, you're going to have to check this box and you're going to have to enter information into two additional data entry fields, which are batch number and authentication code. Now the batch number has to be 8 digits long, which means that no letter should be included and it has to be 8 characters long, with each of those characters being digits or numbers. And that's pretty clear as we don't allow any letters to be entered and it's only numbers. Now let's say that a user who's not a firefighter and they're pretending to be a firefighter and they somehow are able to get some sort of 8-digit batch number in, they won't be able to actually sign up without putting in an authentication code. This authentication code is being assumed to be only known by firefighters, and that authentication code in this case is this right here. Once a firefighter enters that, they're going to be able to sign up. Now here I'm going to demonstrate what the sign up will look like for a firefighter and a supporter. First, let's sign up as a supporter, which is much more simpler because you're only entering data into these 4 data entry fields. Now I'm going to name our supporter Emily Clark. So Emily and then Clark, and we could put in mec@gmail.com as the email. Now some users may put in uppercase letters for the email, and that is okay because our app automatically converts it into lowercase and registers that as an email, and that happens even when you're trying to log in, so the data remains consistent, or at least the format of it. And then here, as for the password, I'm just going to say hello there. And since Emily's a supporter, she's not going to have to check this "Are you a firefighter?" checkbox, and she's all good to go, ready to sign up. And we hit the sign up button, and there we go. We have a sign up successful toast that lets the user know that okay, your sign up was successful. Now I'm also going to demonstrate what it's like to sign up as a firefighter. I'm going to name our firefighter James Bond, pretty classic, and jamesb@gmail.com. Or actually, let's just do Yahoo to keep it a little different. And for password, I'll just do hello Bond. And since James is a firefighter, he's going to have to check the "Are you a firefighter?" checkbox, and he'll have to enter his batch number. Now in this case, since the batch number can be any 8-digit batch number, I'm just going to enter 135792446. And that would be his batch number. And for authentication code, as I mentioned earlier, or it's FK70132896, and then -A777. Now, given that all the data is in the right format and it's not, and any of the data entries aren't empty, our app will allow the user to sign up. And there we go. Now James Bond has signed up as a firefighter. Now we're going to log in as both as a firefighter and a supporter. But first, let's log in as a supporter. Now, from a previous sign up demonstration, we know that Emily Clark is a supporter. So we'll just enter her email here, which was actually mec@gmail.com, and her password was hello there. Now, given that all the entry fields have some sort of information in them and everything is in the correct format, our app will allow us to log in as a supporter here. And the first thing a supporter would see is their welcome text, which is in this case, welcome Emily Clark. So it's basically welcome followed by the user's first name and last name. And then we have three key features of Supporter's UI, and also we have a logout feature. I'm going to demonstrate the logout feature first because it's pretty simple and straightforward. So let's say a user hits the logout button, it'll take you back to the login and sign up page, but it will not clear out any of the data entry fields. And the reason for that is a user can mistakenly hit the logout button, and to avoid having entered all the information all over again, we keep the data entry fields intact, and so that the user can log back in with ease. If the user does not want the entry fields to be populated with their personal information, then they can simply restart the app and everything will be refreshed. Now back to the Supporter's UI, we have three key features here, like I mentioned. The first one is Contact Wildfire Service. If the user clicks on it, there will be a pop-up window with all the information there is to know about contacting wildfire services, and also a button to directly place the call. So here I'm going to click on the button and it will try to place the call. Of course, this is an emulator, so it won't actually place the call, but in real life it would. And to close this pop-up window, it's pretty simple. You just click on it. The next feature for Supporter is the Report an Incident feature. Now this is a pretty interesting one because when you click on it, you're able to see all the incident reports there are on the map and the kind of fires they have. So yellow usually means it's a medium fire, and red means it's a pretty high intensity fire, and gray just means it's a low or a controlled fire. And the size of these markers also indicate how big the fires actually are, and this description would include things like how fast is it moving, what's the wind direction, where is it taking the fire, and what areas, like if people have been affected or not, and things like that. But to, let's say, report an incident, we just scroll or move around the map, select a location. Let's say I witnessed, or a user witnessed a fire somewhere near here along 97C. They'll click on the map, the longitude and latitude would immediately show up, and they can select the fire intensity. In this case, I'll just say it's a medium fire intensity, but the size is large, and then you can describe, I can just say it's near 97C. And then what happens, you can report the incident, and there's a toast that shows the user that the report has been submitted. Now, to check if your report has been submitted, you can go back there, and then you can notice that you have a marker exactly where you placed it in your incident report last time. So that's how the report an incident feature works for the Supporter's UI and also the firefighters, which we'll get to in a bit. And then the last feature in the Supporter's UI is ways to help your local firefighters. Now, this leads you to a page with all sorts of information regarding helping your local firefighting community. Now, you can help using supplies or by donating supplies and equipment, and information regarding that is here, like what kind of supplies and equipment you can donate. And then we have similar things for training and education, like for example, you can contribute to the development of training materials for firefighters, and establish scholarships for ongoing training and education opportunities for firefighters. And then you can also collaborate with local businesses, do financial donations, public awareness campaigns, emergency shelter support, community outreach programs, volunteer services, community assistance programs, community events, and fundraisers. There's all sorts of information in here for a supporter to look for ways to actually support their local firefighting community. So that pretty much sums up the Supporter's UI. Now let's get into Firefighter's UI. Now Firefighter was James Bond, and I believe his email was jamesb@yahoo.com, and then his password was hello bond, if I'm not wrong. And here we're going to log in. Okay, there we go. So the same thing here, we see a welcome text on top for the firefighter with their first and last name. In this case, it's welcome James Bond. But here we have 4 key features instead of 3, like in the Supporter's UI. We also have the logout button with the same functionality to log back in with ease. Now, the first feature we have for the firefighter is the contact cards feature. Now, if a firefighter clicks on it, they'll be led to a page where they have contact cards to the fire departments nearby, and the BC Wildfire Service, and also their team lead, which is Chief Alex Jones in this case. Now, they can click on any of these. Let's say I click on the Lake Country Fire Department. Here, the firefighter will be able to see their phone number, email, and any other information notification from there. And they can also place the call by hitting the click to call button, and they'll be able to contact the department with a click of a button. And they can do the same for any of these, even for their team lead. And to remove the pop-up window, you simply click on it as indicated on the pop-up window itself. And then the next feature is the list of incidents. Now, for the only same or consistent feature between the Firefighter's UI and the Supporter's UI is the report an incident, where they see the same exact interface and the ability to report an incident. But in addition to report an incident, the firefighters are able to actually see a list of incidents where they have the same exact map with the markers on it to see where the fires are taking place with their intensity and size. But now they're also able to see the information that's been put into each of those incident reports. And in addition to being able to see the information here, they're able to click on it and zoom in on the fire. Now, to quickly demonstrate the communications of it, the last feature of the Firefighter's UI, I have 2 emulators running here again, and here you can see that it's like a live chat server where you can see who sent the text and the date and the time as well. So here I'm James Bond on the left, and here is my own account as a firefighter. So let's say James Bond says, "Hey there, everybody." Then it will get updated here as well, and then you can say, "Hey James," and then it gets updated there as well. So this is like a live chat feature, and the way it works is by storing and accessing the messages from the real-time database in Firebase. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. Thank you for watching.